Hi everyone, today we're heading into the kitchen to decorate for Christmas. I'll be decorating the countertops, making a live Christmas arrangement, hanging DIY wreaths, styling the floating shelves, and more. Let's get started. First things first, we're going to be hanging these rustic bells on the pot rack that's above the oven. These rustic bells come in a pack of 4 and I'm using 2 packs total. I'm hanging them using the hooks that the pot rack came with and utilizing the sides of the railing to hang the remaining bells. I'm testing out how I want the order of these, but I ended up liking the more organized, tapered look. For the range hood, I'm going to be adding in the snowflake wreath from Terrain. I wanted to spruce it up a little, so I'm adding in 3 of these cone bells and attaching them together using 5-inch twist ties and wrapping them around each bell so they kind of cascade down the twist tie. Then I'm twisting the top of the tie to the wires that's in the middle of the snowflake. Then I'm going to add in this clip-on burgundy bow and clip it onto the wire as well. The wreath comes with a clear fishing wire that's attached to this little hook that almost looks like an earring. So I'm using that to just stick in the top of the range hood. I didn't want to be able to see a command hook on the hood, so this method ended up working great and stayed looking seamless. Now we're going to make a garland for the hallway leading into our kitchen. I've seen this viral tension rod hack all over the internet and knew I just had to try it out this year. I'm using our tried and true cedar garland from Hobby Lobby for the base and attaching it to this tension rod with zip ties. I want a droopy, asymmetrical effect to the garland, so I'm making sure I put it loosely around the rod and leaving some hanging down on one side. I have these starlights intertwined into the garland for the lights, and I'm using these ones because they're battery powered, so I don't have to worry about a power cord hanging down when this is all put up in the hallway. I'm using these red berry picks and picking off little groups of the berries and then attaching them to the greenery using twist ties. I had Nick hang up this garland using the tension rod, and I will say it did fall down overnight, which was not ideal. So if you're going to use this hack, this definitely needs to be tight and secure to the wall to keep it hanging. I also added in these hanging supernova lights once it was on the wall that are also battery powered, and I draped them down to the side where the garland hangs down for some added lighting. I love how this turned out, and I really do feel like it added so much Christmas spirit and life to the whole space overall. Now let's style the countertops. I'm using this cutting board to make a little moment on one side of the counters. So I'm going to attach 2 of these juniper picks to the handle of the board using twist ties again. I find myself always using twist ties when decorating for Christmas for so many random things, so they're always great to have on hand. I like using the green ones to blend in with the greenery better too. I'm using 2 twist ties here and then twisting them together so they fit the circumference of the handle on the cutting board. I'm also attaching some of the same rustic cone-shaped bells to the twist ties too, and then I'm going to finish it off by tying this 3-inch velvet burgundy ribbon to the top of the handle. I'm stacking some of my 2 favorite cookbooks up against this cutting board that I have leaning up against the wall and using this bud vase as a bookend to hold up the stack of books. I'm putting some extra sprigs along with some baby's breath inside this little vase too. Then I'm going to take this festive cutting board we made and stack this marble Christmas tree shaped cheese board on top, while also covering the outlet behind it. I'm putting only one of these gingerbread house salt and pepper shakers and putting it in front of the cutting board, and then I'm going to add this glass cloche on top of it to give it more interest and to make it feel like it's there more intentionally. For the other side of the countertops, I'm going to start by placing this French vintage comfy pot and using it as a kitchen crock next to my stove. I'm placing different utensils with all different textures in the pot, including rustic wood to silver to marble and even wicker too. Next to the crock, I'm going to add this porcelain Christmas tree plate and layer this wooden breadboard right in front of it. I'm putting these brass salt and pepper mills on one side and then tried layering the silver spoon on top, but also played around with placing these gingerbread cookies on top too. This cookie kit is from Trader Joe's and came with a whole gingerbread family that my kids and I got to decorate together. Then I'm going to stack some more cookbooks and lean them up against this wall to mimic the leaning books on the opposite counter, and use this gingerbread house as a bookend to keep the books in place, and to also coordinate with the other gingerbread house on the opposite counter as well. We hung this Letters to Santa box on the wall to the side of my kitchen in between these curtains, and I wanted to spruce it up by adding a pine sprig and this satin red ribbon that I tied into a bow. I just stuck the sprig inside and secured it by closing the door of the mailbox, and then I tied the ribbon onto the greenery itself. For the island, I wanted to avoid putting too much on here because I didn't want it to feel cluttered, but I still wanted to make a statement with an arrangement. So we're going to make our own fresh one today. I'm using this pedestal that's not too tall, so we're still able to see over the arrangement to the decor on the back countertops when it's all said and done. I filled the vase up with water, and I'm using some tape to make a grid pattern on top of the vase to help keep the stems in place. This step is super important when making a fresh arrangement so it looks full and even all throughout. I'm using a mix of fresh winter greenery, baby's breath, and dark red roses, all from Trader Joe's. I like the wispy look, so I left some longer greenery pieces to hang off the side of the arrangement and used baby's breath to fill in any gaps in the middle. I put the roses in last, using some taller ones and cutting some shorter so the pop of red is more evenly spread. I also added the same snowflake wreaths that I used on the range hood to the back of my counter chairs. These ones are the small version and came in a pack of 4 total. Since these are smaller, I'm only going to use 1 bell for each one, and also add in those burgundy bow clips for a pop of color. These come with a fishing wire and hook to hang too, just like the bigger one, but I found it worked best to use clear command hooks and hook it onto the wire that's in the middle of the green snowflake. I stuck these on all 3 of my acrylic counter chairs and love how it coordinates with the bigger snowflake wreath up top on the range hood. going to add this juniper wreath to our pantry door. This wreath has blueberries on it and it is just so pretty. I like how it's not too wide of a size too, so it's easier to decorate in smaller spaces and fits great on the standard builder grade size door. I'm using the same velvet burgundy ribbon to hang it to coordinate with all the other velvet ribbons in the kitchen, and I'm just going to tie a little bow with it on the top of the wreath too. Time to decorate the floating shelves now. For the bottom shelf, I'm layering this cutting board from Cottage and Key in the back, then tried using this brown lamp, but ended up loving how this burgundy arrangement looked instead. Then I added this bell that's also a candle right next to it. This smells so yummy and perfect for the Christmas time. For the next shelf, I'm starting with this framed print of these watercolor Christmas trees and stacking some books right in front of that. Then I'm adding this stack of large painted Christmas mugs right next to the books. On top of the books, I'm taking this larger rustic bell and tying that same velvet ribbon that we've been using on top to make a big bow. I left the ribbon long so it drapes down and off the books and even the shelf a little bit for a more dramatic effect and to bring the burgundy color up to this shelf. For the top shelf, I'm taking these two bonbon jars in these small and medium sizes, and I'm just going to place them right next to each other. One of these has a Christmas candle inside and the other is filled with pine cones. Here is the finished look of Christmas in the kitchen this year. I am loving how it turned out overall. Let me know what you thought in the comments. I would love to have a chat with you. I hope the holiday season is going well for you guys and you're having a blessed December so far. We'll see you next week in a new video. Bye guys.